All right, so you know that feeling, right? When like a super brilliant idea just hits you, that like aha moment when you realize you've invented something truly new.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like you're on top of the world,
Yeah,
eureka.
exactly. But then picture this, you're so excited to protect this amazing idea, this like valuable intellectual property. You're ready to go through all the right steps, the official channel.
Big's by the book, making it all legit.
Right. And you think it'll be straightforward, but then you run into this system, this whole process that's supposed to help you, protect your
The
invention.
system's there to help, yeah.
But instead of being helpful, it just feels like it's actively trying to stop you at every turn. Ever
Yeah.
feel that way? Like a system meant to be on your side is actually making your life a total nightmare.
Ugh, it's the worst, isn't it? You hit all these roadblocks, and it's like, come on, isn't this supposed to be encouraging innovation?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're diving deep into today, the wild world of filing a patent with the USPTO. That's the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the big guys, the government agency that grants patents.
The gatekeepers, so to speak.
We came across this really interesting article, and it dives right into this whole patent process and doesn't hold back. And it doesn't just say, oh, the USPTO website's a little bit clunky.
It definitely doesn't sugarcoat it.
No, not at all. It flat out argues that the website is intentionally designed to be so frustrating, so complicated, that inventors just give up.
Wow, like they're almost trying to discourage people from applying for patents at all.
That's the big question, right? Is it intentional? So that's our mission today in this deep dive. We're going to break down the biggest pain points that people experience when they try to use the USPTO website to file for a patent.
Sounds like a worthy cause. It can be a real headache for inventors, that's for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to really try to understand these frustrations, and then we'll explore this whole idea, the argument that the website's complexity is maybe not a mistake, but a feature, something designed that way on purpose.
The feature, not a bug, as they say in the tech world.
Okay, so let's get into it. The very first thing our source really stresses is how overwhelmingly complicated this USPTO website is. I mean, people really feel this.
Oh yeah, you can tell just from reading it. The article doesn't pull any punches. It calls the website a bureaucratic maze and a tangled mess of forms, instructions that make no sense, and just endless checkboxes.
Yeah, like a digital jungle, right?
It really paints this picture of a website that's designed to be an obstacle course, not a resource that's actually supposed to help inventors.
Right. It says that even trying to find the basic stuff, like the forms you need or important information, feels like you're wandering around in these convoluted menus that never end.
It's like being lost in a labyrinth, but it's all online.
Exactly. Can you imagine? You've got this potentially revolutionary invention, this amazing idea, and you're just sitting there staring at your computer screen, totally lost in this sea of digital bureaucracy.
It's almost comical, but it's also incredibly frustrating.
It really is. And the article emphasizes that this is not just a little annoying, it's way more than that.
It's a major roadblock.
Because it forces inventors, people like you, to jump through hoops, decipher all this complex jargon that makes no sense, and wade through tons of irrelevant information. It creates what they call a massive unnecessary burden, and it's so true.
I think it's important to connect this back to the bigger picture for a sec. Think about how much focus and mental energy it takes to actually come up with an innovative idea. You have to be in the right mindset.
It's a creative process, right?
Totally. So then, to be immediately hit with this system that feels so hostile, I mean, it's got to be super demotivating. It makes you wonder if this kind of overwhelming complexity, beyond just being a hassle, could actually discourage people from filing patents, even if they have brilliant game-changing ideas.
That's a great point. It's like it just sucks the excitement right out of the whole process.
Totally. And it sounds like it gets even more frustrating, according to the article. It talks about all these hidden roadblocks and a lack of transparency on the website, and it really sounds infuriating.
Oh, for sure. It's like the system's not just difficult. It's almost like it's trying to trick you.
Like setting traps.
Yeah. And the article says that the site seems to mislead and confuse people who are applying for patents.
Well, how so?
It gives specific examples like things that look optional in the forms but are actually mandatory, or these seemingly tiny little checkboxes that could actually have a huge impact on your whole application.
Ugh, that's so sneaky. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where half the pieces are missing, and someone keeps changing the rules without telling you.
That's the perfect way to describe it. And you know what? It seems like the biggest punch in the gut comes at the very end of the whole process.
Oh no. Don't tell me it gets worse.
So picture this. You've spent hours carefully filling out all these complicated forms. You're finally done, you hit submit, and then bam, you get error messages.
Error messages after all that work.
Yep. And they point to problems that were never even flagged before, things that weren't clear at all while you were filling out the
No
forms.
way. Are you serious?
Yep. It makes you wonder, like the article asks, why are these requirements hidden? Why isn't the system more transparent? It really makes you feel like the whole process is rigged, like every step is a potential trap.
It definitely creates a sense of distrust, doesn't it? If the system's designed to trip you up like that, how can you have any faith in it?
Exactly. And the article even shares this personal story that really drives home this whole lack of user-friendliness on the website. It's crazy.
What happened?
So the author of the article, they talk about having 4 patents put on hold and sent back because of formatting issue.
4. I would be fuming. That must have been so frustrating.
Right. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And the article points out that this delay was entirely because of the website's terrible design.
Wow. The website was the culprit.
It was. And they highlight that the website doesn't even have basic features that we've all come to expect, like automatic document formatting or some sort of guided upload process. Like, come on, it's 2025.
Those are pretty standard features these days, yeah?
Totally. But on the USPTO website, nope, you don't get any of that. So this person was basically stuck in this endless loop of submitting and resubmitting documents, which wasted tons of their time.
It's like a bad dream. You can't escape the paperwork.
Exactly. And it's not just about the wasted time. It's also about the mental drain, you know?
Yeah.
The feeling that you're fighting against the website instead of focusing on your amazing invention. Like, if you've ever dealt with a really frustrating online form, you know, the kind that makes you want to scream, you can probably relate to this.
Totally. It's like digital torture. You're just stuck in this bureaucratic purgatory.
Oh, it's the worst. And you know what makes this whole thing even more painful? Let's talk about
Oh,
money.
yeah, the financial side of it.
Yeah.
I bet that's not pretty either.
The article talks about these exorbitant fees that you have to pay up front.
Up front. As in, before you even know if your application will be accepted.
Exactly. No guarantees whatsoever.
Wow, that's a huge gamble.
It really is. And for individual inventors and small businesses, these fees can be a real deal breaker.
I bet. It's a major financial risk.
Big time. And the article points out, like, why should people have to pay so much money up front for a process that might not even work out, especially when the website itself is such a mess and could lead to all sorts of delays and errors?
It's a valid point. If the system is flawed, why should applicants bear the financial brunt of it?
Right. And it makes you wonder, do these high fees, combined with all the website issues, end up preventing potentially amazing inventions from seeing the light of day? Like, maybe people with incredible ideas just can't afford to even try.
It's like an unintentional filter, shutting out those who don't have deep pockets.
Which leads us to the central and honestly the most shocking argument in the article. They say that the USPTO website is intentionally designed to create all this friction, to frustrate people who are trying to apply for patents, and ultimately to push them to just give up on their applications. I mean, that's a big accusation.
Yeah, that's a serious claim.
Right. And they back it up with all the issues we've been talking about, like the confusing interface, all those hidden traps, the instructions that are super unclear. They argue that these things aren't just mistakes, they're deliberately put there to deter people from filing patents.
So they're saying the USPTO is deliberately making it harder for people to protect their inventions.
That's what they're saying, yeah. And it's like they're flipping the whole script. The agency that's supposed to protect your inventions is actually making it super difficult to do so.
That's a pretty radical idea, but it does make you think. If it's true, what would be their motivation for doing that?
Right. I mean, it really raises questions about the USPTO's priorities and whether they're actually fulfilling their mission to support innovation. But thankfully, the article doesn't just complain about these problems, it also proposes some concrete solutions to make the USPTO website better.
Well, thank goodness for that. Lay it on us. What are they suggesting?
Okay, first up, they have a strong call to simplify the interface. Like, make it easy to use, easy to understand, and get rid of all the unnecessary complexity. You shouldn't need a law degree just to navigate the website.
Absolutely. It should be accessible to anyone, regardless of their technical background.
Exactly. And they go hand in hand with the second suggestion, which is to have clear instructions and no hidden requirements.
So no more traps.
Exactly. Every form, every checkbox should be explained in plain language, language that everyone can understand, so there are no surprises.
Makes sense. Transparency is key.
Totally. And they also address the financial burden. They suggest lower more reasonable fees, like a flat fee that everyone can afford, maybe something like $100.
That'd be amazing.
Right. It would make the patent process so much more
It
accessible.
would level the playing field for sure.
Totally. And last but not least, they call for a streamlined file upload process. So make it simple, give people clear formatting guidelines, and please get rid of those awful error messages that can wipe out hours of work.
Yes,
Please. I mean, these all seem like pretty common sense improvements, right?
they really do. If the USPTO implemented these changes, it would not only save inventors a ton of frustration, but it could also encourage more people to protect their inventions, which ultimately benefits everyone.
So true. So let's sum it all up. Today we took a deep dive into the crazy, often frustrating world of filing a patent, focusing specifically on how the USPTO website can make things so much harder. Our source material makes a really strong case that the website's complexity might not be an accident. Some people see it as a huge roadblock, maybe even something intentionally designed to discourage people from filing patents.
It's a thought-provoking argument for sure.
It really is. And for you, our listener, think about the bigger picture here. If the very system that's meant to champion innovation is seen as a major obstacle, what does that mean for inventors and entrepreneurs, whose ideas might be getting shut down before they even have a chance?
It raises a lot of questions about access and opportunity in the world of innovation.
So we'll leave you with this final thought, something that really captures the heart of the concerns raised in our source material. Is it possible that the USPTO, in trying to protect innovation, is actually unintentionally or maybe even intentionally stifling it through all this complexity? And what are the long-term consequences for the future of invention if these barriers stay in place? It's something to think about.
Definitely something to ponder.